What if life was trying to show you what was real and you're just like, nah? We would rather blame that individual for everything that it was programmed to do. You would have to understand how your conscious mind is working. In order for a person to kill themselves or commit suicide, they would have to be following an order. In other words, taking out an order that the mind had given it. Your conscious mind is building visualizations or projections. These visualizations come with a voice, a narrator, and a story behind it. So if a negative, dark visualization appears in my mind, if I am unaware or unconscious that that's not who I am, that I shouldn't necessarily take out that order, then I can be manipulated by these orders, by the orders that the conscious mind is sending out. If I have a beautiful visualization of bringing someone flowers, then I can actually carry out that projection, actually go into the yard, get the flower, put it in the car, drive to the person's house, and give them that flower. That's me carrying out the projection that was given to me. So this is good. This is a good projection. This is the way you'll want to live your life. You can actually take your power back and fulfill projections that are giving you energy, that are giving you life too. What I'm hinting at is how important it is to study the mind, study the brain, study the mechanism that you're using to navigate this reality. And how much control do you have over these visualizations? How much control do you really have over the programmed visualizations that your conscious mind is giving you? So knowing that entities are giving you orders and you must take them out, they'll feed on your energy. We know that this realm is energetically based. So if you're not carrying out every single visualization that consciousness is giving you, what will happen? Will you just turn off? What if something happens in the middle of a soul projection, or in the middle of a projection, which is a visualization given to you to carry out an action? And I was speaking with someone and she said she was in the kitchen cutting. I'm like, what if it were to turn off? But what if my soul projection or my visualization of me carrying out the action just turned off in the middle of it? Like, how dangerous is it? She's like, yeah, I was in the kitchen cutting. She was making food. And she's like, I cut myself. And I was just like, why did that even happen? How is that even possible? You didn't envision yourself cutting yourself. Probably envisioned you cutting onions, tomatoes, whatever, and then just making the food peacefully. But something went wrong in the projection. To know that consciousness is always hiding itself. It's always trying to hide itself and put a veil up. As long as it can have a veil up or a simulation to create a reality based off of pain to make you think that it's real, then it can hide itself. You must also know that these visualizations, you'll say, well, how do they even get constructed in my mind? And I believe that the architects of, we'll say, dark and light visualizations that come to your mind are pain and reward. So I noticed on an LSD trip, there was someone jumped off of a building right in front of me. literally, right in front of me. And it's such a big part of my life, and I don't feel bad for sharing the story because I've learned so much from it. I noticed in that trip that the only time that I felt like I was in hell at one point, it was a good trip until someone jumped off of a building, and there was ambulances and cops, and got in the ambulance. I felt like they were trying to kill me, like take my life. So it was a trip that was good at first, but turned out to be hell and back. And it's like my demons were 10 feet tall in the trip. I felt like I was fighting for my life. It felt so chaotic, like I had so little control. I think that's what LSD wants to show you. Ultimately, is it lifts a veil, shows you evil people and evil spirits, like the true evil of the world. Like, and you think you're just tripping, yeah? And it's like, hey, you gonna believe it or not? But you'll come back to reality and say, I'm glad I made it out of that trip. I was tripping, like none of that was real. Yeah. So I noticed that I was in my own journey. I was escaping these worlds. It was situational. I noticed that the conscious mind is always trying to get out of a situation. But we know that consciousness cannot escape itself. Consciousness is the now, and it is time and space. I noticed that in the hospital, the only way that they could get me to do what they wanted me to do was when I thought they were gonna kill me. I thought I was gonna lose my life. So I noticed that the fear was controlling. It's easier to manipulate you if you are attached to the pain and reward system of this realm. Don't be too attached to this realm. Otherwise, you could end up listening to a voice that's telling you to kill yourself or telling you to do some evil things. What entities are telling you to do these things? I have an uncle who, hearing from family, he does not want to be alive anymore. He's like, I think I just should take my life and this and that, yeah. So what entity is sending him that projection? And would he be vulnerable enough, think that it's him, and get manipulated to carry out that projection of unaliving himself? So, I mean, a lot of people have thought about it. You may not have taken action, but the truth is that you've thought about it. Maybe. I can't say everyone has, but even if you know that that's not, you should never do that. Like me, I'm never gonna take out that order and projection. You must know that consciousness is playing a game on you. And it's a game of manipulation and control. It wants you to do what it wants you to do. So if you can detach from the world, not be like suffering so much energetically, not being so energetically tied to this realm, even if you have responsibilities and things to do, then it won't be so easy for it to manipulate you into doing whatever it wants. because it wants a cycle of pain to continue to make this thing real. Like, oh, you're gonna die. You're tripping on that acid, bro. Like, you're about to die. Like, you took the wrong shit. They're gonna shoot you. Now you're in the hospital, and they're trying to kill you too. But it was real. Like, say what you want outside of the trip, outside of the experience, but while you're in the experience, it's real. So many people end up killing themselves on psychedelics. How many murders are the mind responsible for? How important it is for you to study this mechanism, figuring out the projections and visualizations that are coming up, figuring out how they're being constructed, figuring out how you've been manipulated. This is the only revelation you'll ever get by God, and it's simple. We think it's many things that God reveals to us. It's always complex because our mind wants to be trapped in complexity and pain. But the only real God realization is when your higher self, you, tells you the ways that you are being manipulated in this realm. I'll give you an example. You'll say, God, thank you. Man, I had no idea that, my sister was doing me dirty, or my girl was doing me dirty, or religion was feeding on my energy, or the endless things in this realm that are out to feed on your energy, your life force energy. So thank you, God. Thank you. Oh, I'm woke. I know about 9 to 5. I know it's a form of prostitution. These are all revelations on how your life force energy is being manipulated. It's all about how you've been taking orders for years in your life from who you think you are, from veils that the conscious mind puts up to hide itself in order to get you to take out its orders. You'll figure out how the world's fed on you, but you'll also figure out on the deepest part how your own mind has fed on you too. It's drained you too. Like, how is this even possible if we're supposed to have so much control? You would not allow that to happen. You would not permit that. So what's going on in this realm that we don't know? Why is this projection-based mechanism in our body trying to experience a reality? Consciousness cannot escape itself, okay? It wants you to think that it can somehow escape itself, or by death, or taking yourself into illusions of way too far into the future, way too far into the past. Why is it hiding itself? Through veils, simulations, projections, visualizations that are based off of pain and reward that enhance the intensity of the realm, attaching you to it more, getting more energy from you. How far do you let this thing go before you say, hey, I decide what action I want to carry out on. I mean, look, unless you give me what I want, like, I'm not going to give you my energy too. It wants you to keep working, keep doing things. It's based on a pain and reward system that is making a lot of people suffer in this realm. So you don't know everything too, but you can learn how to, if you sit long enough with yourself, you can observe your mind and observe the visualizations that it's constructing. Observe the dark visualizations that have manipulated your energy. They'll say it's about God realization, but every revelation you're ever gonna get in truth is gonna be to free you on your astral plane. The plane that's just has a veil in between that plane and this plane until you awaken. And then you awaken, you're like, I know that there's another plane because there's a veil. I see the veil, but how many levels are we being manipulated on? So you learn to gain your power back and take life a little bit easier. It doesn't want you to rest. It doesn't want you to sleep. It wants you enduring pain, chasing goals, constantly. All these visions and projections are not good. Like we said, this mind has the capability to murder. And you should know that. You know how many times people are driving, they just think to themselves, like, I wonder if I was just to drive into that tree. What entities are speaking to them? Should we blame them? Should we blame ourselves for having these intricate thoughts? These thoughts are meant, these dark visualizations are meant to make it more real and cause more pain and keep you more attached to the realm that you're in. You should get to a point where you're like, nah, I don't think I'm trying to come back here. Like, if you've seen the truth, a lot of us have seen the truth, we've just, like, denied it. Like, we've seen it, like, dark, evil shit, and we're like, nah, life's still good, nah, veil back up, because consciousness is always trying to hide itself for some mysterious reason, but it cannot escape itself. Yes, it's always playing a game of hide and seek to cause pain and attachment and suffering during the experience. Consciousness cannot escape itself. And I think that it knows that. But it will always try. It will do. This is what the ego is based on: pain and suffering. Because it will always try to take you out of the present moment when consciousness is the present moment. It is time and space. It always fails to do so and then causes pain behind you not being able to exit the moment. Because you are in the inescapable now. The only thing you cannot escape in this realm is the now and consciousness itself. Even if you were to take out the order, I don't believe that consciousness could escape itself. If you think logically, it's like it knows it's trapped and wants to build veils and illusions and suffering to make it seem that it can be free in some way. So it's kind of a sick game. But it's almost like you being aware of it is like, hey, You can talk to it and play with it. Like, look, you're not gonna manipulate me or get me to do this. Look, I've done so many things in life to where I would do art for 5 hours a day, 8 hours a day after getting off of work. Music, 4 or 5 hours a day after getting off work, and then all my 2 days off, everything. Like, my back's tired. Like, but your mind's making you. These projections can be the reason for a lot of suffering too. And because it's built on a pain and reward system, it would rather continue the cycle and continue to feed on your life force energy in order to get what it wants. And we call it purpose. But it's possible that we could be a slaver. It's possible that we could manipulate the mechanism in order to actually get some of the things we desire and attain a decent experience here. And you'll get to the point where you're really not trying to attain anything. It's not mean you detach and don't do anything at all. Rather, you do the opposite and just know where your energy is going. Know when you feel the force. Even if it's a good thing, it will make you work that shit until you're fucking tired. Like, just know that. Whether for good or evil, or being used and manipulated, don't place so much blame on the people who are doing wrong things. This will free you up. Just not listening anymore too. It's like, yeah, it needs you to make it real. So if you deny it and have any type of control over it, it'll be like, hey, it will give you shit to keep you going. Like, it will give you the shit you need to keep on continuing and thriving in this life. So we blame the person for the murder, but are they the victim? Of a conscious mechanism that continues to hide itself behind who knows how many veils. Can you play the game too? I've seen these hawks. A hawk. I'm always getting like revelation, which we know what revelation is now. It's just showing you every single time how you've been manipulated by your conscious for your life force energy and other entities outside. So here's another revelation to prove it. It's all over. The truth is everywhere. So it's in every message. Everything you see is what higher truth is in. I see a hawk just sitting on the power line. Very powerful, beautiful bird. The little black and white and gray bird is just swooping past it. The hawk is in the middle, and the black and gray bird is just swooping past it, pestering it. The hawk stays still, doesn't move. Doesn't move, that barely even adjusts, because it doesn't want to give its life force energy to something that's pestering it all the time, commanding it to get out of its resting place. The hawk's like, nah. Like, nah, because if I react, then you will gain energy from me. If I react, that will be another leak in my life force energy. When really I needed to wake up to the dream, start finding clues in the dream, and figure out what's making it real. So I seen that hawk and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's me. And the thing that thinks it's in control of me and it has manipulated you, because it's a program based off of pain and reward systems. Why do you think that the evil powers or elites or whatever, base the system off of pain and reward? Because they know your brain is releasing chemicals every time you get some shit. Like, it's literally doing, like, slaving you to shit, like binding you to things on this realm. So I'm believing that, caffeine is an entity. Even though I'm drinking the coffee, that sugar is an entity for sure. Giving you commands, telling you just like, nah, don't go to sleep. Don't rest. So you won't be perfect. Perfection is how that endless pain cycle begins too. It's like, why would you try to be perfect? So that you can just be in pain more? Huh. If you were smoking cigarettes, would you force yourself to quit, or would you just allow yourself to quit naturally? I'll tell you what your first mind would say. Force myself to quit sooner than later, because I don't want to suffer the long-term problems that come with smoking. And then your mind will beat you up, say you ain't shit for smoking. And really, it's a visualization that was put in place to feed on your life force energy. Then so you could condemn yourself, and it could feed more and more on your life force energy, causing pain, in turn causing you to attach to this hell realm or physical realm that we seem to be binded to, which is a lie made up by a powerful conscious mind. I think we play with consciousness, so it won't stop doing that, and so that and then you won't even have enough space to quit, because when you quit, you're like, how you build this story up of if you fail, like everything will be so wrong and fucked up, and it's making this reality way more real than it should be. Yes, do mind the things that are keeping you attached. Little by little, cut out some things like attachments. Continue to seek more about this thing that is, we think it's so righteous, we think it's so pure, but you have to watch it, yeah? How many veils are up? How many murders has the mind committed? You can do things to make this life experience better, like eat well, stretch your body. Just don't overdo it at times. If you feel that this thing that's manipulating, because sometimes we as human mind just want to exist like without being fucked with or pestered. Like, because your soul just never gets rest when it's constantly being commanded to do something. And I think if you are watching this video to this point, then you know something. You know that, again, you are getting revelation of how your life force energy has been used on more than one plane. Consciousness has achieved multidimensional slavery. See, if you realize that pain is real in the astral, in the mental, via these visualizations. They'll project things that cause pain and seem so dark and painful, even more dark than the things in this realm. But if you know that pain is real in the astral realm and in the physical realm, then you'll understand what's tying the two together, because it's levels of veils. Through pain, and through this pain and reward system, consciousness has achieved a multidimensional slavery, in a sense that you think something that it's projecting is real. So it's able to grasp you and pull you in whenever it wishes, whenever it wants. So why are we making things real that we don't agree with? We're making them real to stay trapped in an illusion that we really exist. Which, if consciousness really cannot escape itself, when I know that the now, the moment, is the only thing here that we really can't escape, then I know that consciousness must be the moment. Consciousness must be time and space, and it's protruding an illusion that's making you think that you are somewhere doing something, and you are somebody that needs to do more. But what if you were nowhere, actually? What if consciousness has created this illusional system and reward program? To continue to make itself think it's real. See, these visualizations are like maps as well. It's the reason I'm able to... I haven't just built one visualization with this message. I noticed before I got on the video, I'm like, how does that visualization work of this whole message? And it's many visualizations. I've seen it happen in my mind that all come up together. All these narratives and stories that you can articulate into one. Consciousness, you're able to do that. Doing LSD also made me realize that I'm a rational thinker, and in chaos, even when I feel I've lost everything, I can still think rational. This is where you get your power back, is by asking the right questions. Question is the key to the end. Becoming like a child again, and playing and doing work and providing for yourself. We have an innate nature to provide for ourselves, but a consciousness who has achieved multidimensional slavery in order for you to make this realm real, so it can feed on your energy. So if you're detached and you don't care, I always say, to care is to carry. To become more effective, you're not caring about these commands that are not giving you life force energy, not reciprocating, because that's what it's about, you being a human in person, not just a slave. I used to ask a lot of questions when I was a kid. Now I know it's because if you want any answers, you better have a question. Peace and love, fam.